Like, check, 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 check. It's interesting to hear yourself talk. I guess when you record yourself talking, depending on the day you are, you end up finding that there's a version of you that existed at that point. You have multiple versions of yourself, so in a sense, you end up talking to yourself in present form, but you did it in a form that you're not in control of the body, so you verbally can express it. It becomes easier when you start giving them turns to speak. When you start giving them turns to speak, then you will find a relationship. When the relationship is built, you start becoming connected in the spiritual world more than you usually are. Once you take over the body, what happens is that spiritual world kind of disconnects itself from. And only one spirit, in a sense, controls the body. Only that spirit controls the body, and that spirit is greedy and wants things their way. They will do everything in their power to fight themselves, to the other spirits to come out. The other spirits have also checks and balance. Your body needs checks and balance. A lot of people don't like checks and balance because checks and balance requires them to change. When change is required, people tend to go in fight mode, and that's why we have all these, again, people without their frontal lobes developed, people with stomach problems, people with mental problems, people with all the problems, because there's always a fucking problem, because human beings are fucking lazy and don't want to fucking solve their problems. They want somebody else to fix their problems. That's why we call upon God when things are wrong, because we don't want to put the effort to fucking fix it. God is like your parent. Your parent is there. You're already a person who is at the age of understanding. If you understand things, that means you're capable of problem solving. A lot of people don't want to problem solve because it requires for them to understand what is happening. Some people just want to live in the ignorant stage of life. So we have so many people do stupid shit that makes no sense, and then we sit down and think about it like there's no way this person did that. That's because that person decided not to understand. Instead of process their feelings and say, hey, maybe I am the problem. Let me look in the mirror and tell myself, hey, maybe I need to fix myself. Maybe I need to do something different because the way that I'm processing life right now, does not work for me. Maybe I should require a little bit of change. But no, let me go get fucking high to the point that I become a fucking dope addict and I can't come back. And if I do come back, I basically destroy my body. And then there's no really way of you to survive for a long time because you basically decay your body by like 1,000, right? And we have these people who consume themselves to death using food, right? And they get to be so fucking fat just because they don't want to accept themselves. They rather reshape their original physical body, right? Instead of saying, hey, maybe I should change things because the body and the soul are not agreeing. And then with people who have addicts for other things, there's addicts in all forms. Everybody thinks addicts is just fucking alcohol and drugs. Like there's other addicts, there's food addicts. That's what fat people are. They're food addicts. You're addicted to food. You eat your emotions. That means you're incapable of saying, hey, maybe I should fucking process this instead of fucking eating a fucking plate of food after I ate a box of pizza and then the 3-liter soda. Like, what? How do you think that's okay to cope with what the fuck you're feeling? But then I'm a fucking asshole if I say something about it. If I say, hey, maybe you don't have a mental health problem. Maybe what you have is that you're a little fucking bitch and don't want to solve your problems. Because if you solve your problems, then you will no longer have an identity. That's why people with all these quote-unquote problems identify themselves as the problem. Whenever you meet them for the first time, or if they have somebody in their life that has the problem, and they're defining their life based on that, they basically bring it up in almost every conversation. Oh, my kid is this. Oh, my wife is this. Oh, I'm this. Like, no, you're a fucking human being who's trying to process the human experience. Stop being a little fucking twat and fix yourself. You're here to fix things. You're not here to fucking make things worse. It's literally your job to fucking fix things. That's the purpose of us. To fix. If you don't fix, we still have the same problems for tomorrow. And then the next day, and then the next day, you know, what are you gonna do? You're the little motherfucker who just sits down and bitch and complain about everything and anything, and doesn't do anything about it. And you do zero efforts to fix things. But yet you want to tell me how to live my life. But I am in the wrong. You're trying to give me labels. That's why I don't like labels. Labels are created by people who don't really understand what the fuck is going on. They have an idea. And they put this idea and then they force this idea down your throat and it's like, this is the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it works. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. It might work for you, but doesn't mean it works for the rest of the species. So you give people advice and then that's as far as you go. It's up to you. Try it. So experimenting is so fucking important. If you keep yourself in the same fucking moment and you see no progress, then how the hell are you going to move forward? It's like your body changes every time you age. That means your diet fucking changes. That means how much water you should be consuming changes. How much effort you put for exercise changes. How much are you working on your mental health changes. See how all of this adds up, right? And then if you're not changing those 4 things, what do you think is happening to the soul? You have zero connection with your soul. If you can align the other things, what makes you think you're going to align the soul? I mean, think about it. Like, seriously, deep, think about this. How can you connect with your soul if you're not connected with your body? Can't answer. What the fuck do I know? I don't know anything. I just have a lot of crazy ideas with my unorthodox thinking. Because I don't really put people's emotions first when it comes to a lot of thinking processes the way I do. Emotions is the last thing that I ever considered whenever I go and think about things. If you're thinking emotions, that means you're thinking in a finite process of time. That means you can only think in a 3D world. Emotions are good, but they are not a primary survival instinct. They're more designed for you to care. If you focus just on caring, you're not going to really make much progress on others. You need checks and balance. That's why you need a good and an evil. The yin and the yang. A black and a white. The red versus blue. Like it's all the same concept. It's there for a purpose. It makes us fucking move forward. To thrive. We thrive on that. Again, information is very important to share. People are fucking selfish. And they'll really do anything in their power to hold on to information. Which is fucking weird to me. How you as a human want to hold information from other humans. It makes no sense. And then you want to decide when and how the information comes out. Which is even more weird. How can you decide when and where and whom can understand the information just because you decided? That's pretty fucking weird, man. How much control hungry people could really be. But I guess it comes down from one thing. It's the same story, just same characters, but just different bodies. So we all live in the same thing at the same time. It's a version of us. So you have good, bad, blah, blah, man, sad, blah, 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 and all these other things. There's versions of you out there that literally are living life like you're living life. Daily. Trying to process the same information you're trying to process, just in a different point of view. It's all perspective at the end of the day. If you want to come down to the simple terms. The more you narrow it down, the easier things get. The wider it gets, the most complicated it gets, right? So when you're processing information, what is the easiest way to do it? You break it down into sections. Like if somebody's telling you the creek is black because there's dirt in it. The dirt, the sediment on the bottom of the dirt, whenever it moves, whenever the tides move, right? It creates the dust. It creates the dirt to come up. And then it creates the water to be black. And then you're like, okay, what the fuck did I just heard? Right? So you sit down and really think about it, right? What the fuck is dirt, number one? What the fuck is moving the tides? And why is the dirt not settling at the bottom of the water? It's my first three questions, right? Then when I go, right, look up the dirt, right? What the fuck is really dirt? How does dirt affect water coloring? All this other stuff, right? And then you go back to the reading after you do your research, and then you reread it again. And then what you're going to end up finding is, I'm going to say at least 70% of the time, you're going to understand it more. You become more connected to what the hell was just told to you. Because now you have a deeper understanding of where that being decided to speak that out, from where they gathered their information. And how did they came to that conclusion? Been doing this for a very long time. But a lot of people don't know how to simplify things like that. It's like cleaning your home. Your home. Why wouldn't you want your home to be clean? Like some people find that there's a lot of work for them to clean up after themselves. Like, what? You did that. Why again? Why somebody else has to clean up your mess? It's really fucking strange how people think like this. And there's always the same padding excuse. I don't have enough time. I'd rather you have my time doing something else. Okay, so what are you doing with the time that you're not doing to clean your home? Probably sitting in your fucking ass doing jack shit. That's what most fucking people do. They pretend they're busy. But then even if you think about it, most people, even if you're using social media, right, for instance, 99% of the time, you're not posting anything. You're looking at other people's stuff. So what are you really doing? Weird, man. Like, we live in a very weird time. Where things are simple, but we have complicated things. I was gonna bite us in the ass. When it's gonna happen, I'm not sure, but it's definitely gonna bite us in the ass. It's starting to already. Snake eats itself. Again, same story. Snake eats itself. The fuck are we eventually doing? Eating ourselves. That's basically what we're doing. So it becomes to a point where like everything you're doing ends up leading you to step one. If you keep going down the path that you keep going when you don't want to fucking understand things, you just become a level of fucking ignorance where it gets to the point where like you just don't even want to be around others because you decided that you're superior above them and then nobody can stop you. You're all know-it-all. And only I can figure it out and only with this people I can figure it out. Nobody else can help me because everybody else is a worthless piece of fucking shit. People will think like this. They don't say it just like I said it, but they act it just saying. Because it's me. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? Am I telling you what I'm doing that you're not doing? It's the part that I'm a little confused about. Because if we're going scale to scale, I don't think this will ever work. The way you live your life is the way I live my life is completely different. So how can we compare our responsibilities? Besides taking care of the fucking body. It's the only thing that we have in common. Everything else is just something that doesn't work. It's not measurable. Because if it becomes measurable, then it becomes too complicated. And if it becomes too complicated, then that's how war starts. Because people can't understand super complicated things. Whenever you try to explain to somebody anything in a super complicated way, in a more in-depth way, people tend to push you away. because it makes the fucking brain hurt. Because people don't fucking think deep like this on a daily basis. So again, I'm going to ask you, how can you compare your life to mine? It doesn't work. It can never work. Unless, again, we go into the atomical kind of point of view. We're going pin by pin. Atom by fucking atom. And then you tell me who's whom. Oh, if you want to go to a bigger scale, we could go from all the way to the bottom to the top. Let's go to our physical bodies. It's the highest form there is, right? The physical realm, this is as big as we get. Right? So then who are we? Who are you? Who am I? Completely different beings. We look different. We perform different. Our skills levels is different. Our run, speed, strength, all of this is completely different. Sight, hair, nose, skin texture, all of this is completely different. So again, how are we comparing ourselves? You can't. So stop fucking comparing yourself to others. Be fucking proud of yourself. Motivate yourself by your own well-being. Use others as examples, not as the guide. Stop being a person who fucking just guides themselves based on others. You'll never be fucking satisfied. You're gonna be a miserable fuck. For your whole entire fucking life, you're gonna be miserable. Because you don't accomplish what that person accomplished in a certain time frame, then you become depressed. Why? Because your fucking body can't handle how to fucking be, even understand what it's like to be rejected. Because nobody ever fucking taught you how to be rejected. Because you're a little fucking twat that decided to be a fucking another twat in another twat world that makes excuses for everything that's wrong instead of fucking fixing themselves. All because you follow somebody else's guides. Or, I'm sorry, you worship them, because that's basically what a lot of people are doing now. They worship other human beings. They think they're the most high. It's fucking wild to me. People are even afraid to walk their own steps. Because it's too loud. It makes me sweat. It's cold. It's hot. I have a headache. My stomach hurts. What did you do to cause any of that stuff? Oh, we never ask those questions because those questions are forbidden. Because we can never blame the individual for the problem. We gotta blame everything else. But fuck me, right? It's funny, man. It really is fucking funny. It's insane how far we have dropped. As a percent of much, we really dropped. We dropped the ball. And I don't know. To be honest, it's a thing that uses dying breed. That's a species of humans that have come into population that have been put out for test subjects, but they realize that these humans do not belong in this kind of human spirit. Right? The reason why they don't belong is they don't know how to cooperate with others. If you can't cooperate with others, right? You tend to be the black sheep in the society. You become the black sheep in the society, then you start becoming yourself a label, right? Then you give yourself a label because you always self-fucking diagnose yourself every single time. Every time we go to the same story, it's always the same self-diagnosis. Right? So start to see a pattern. Again, I'm a man who follows pattern. Then you start seeing a pattern with the same human beings that tend to have the same thing. That's why they always tend to dress the same, have the same kind of body type, fucking smell the same. They always tend to always fucking be the ones who always have a problem with almost anything. And they tend to be the downers. Just putting it out there. Same fucking human beings that keep populating themselves over and over again. But now they're becoming more extreme because more people are starting to ignore them. Because they're starting to realize that it gets to a point that you don't want to keep playing the same game. They want to keep playing the same game because that's the only game they know. And if you try to teach them another game, then they panic. And literally crash. Literally crash. So who's in the wrong and who's in the right? Am I wrong for saying that your way of living is not good? Or am I wrong for saying the truth that the problem you are the way you are is because you choose to be that way? It's a choice. If you can fix something, that means it's a choice. You're choosing not to find the solution. It's my honest opinion. But I was once told I don't understand a lot of things because I have not had a traumatic experience with it. And it's interesting. What do you define as trauma? Just saying. But again, what do I know? I'm just a guy inside of a guy, 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 inside of a guy that came from a woman that has never died. That's life, folks. On the perspective of me,